Hi students, today's class is surgical management of lymphedema. The surgical management for primary and secondary lymphedema are different. Here we will discuss about primary lymphedema surgical management. The main indications for surgical management of primary lymphedema are limitation of function of limb due to its weight and bulk, recurrent cellulitis. Appearance of cell lac cosmetically is also an indication for surgical treatment. Two types of operations have been devised for primary lymphedema. First one, excisional operations, and the second one is physiologic operations. First one, excisional operations. This include A. Homans operation, B. Thompson operation, C. Charles operation, and D. Kinmoth's operation. Homans operation. Firstly, the skin flaps are elevated, then the subcutaneous tissue is excised from beneath the flaps. The skin flaps are now closed primarily as the width of the limb has been decreased. The only complication is the possibility of skin flap necrosis. This operation should be performed on two sides, one after the other, keeping at least 6 months gap between the two operations. This operation is more satisfactory in the calf, though it can be used even on the upper limb, but must not be performed in presence of venous obstruction. Thompson operation. This operation, long viable skin flap, is raised based on mid-posterior aspect of the limb. This operation can be performed on either the medial or lateral aspect of the limb. If both sides of the limb are to be operated on, an interval of 3 to 6 months should be given between two operations. After raising the skin flap, all the subcutaneous tissue and the deep fascia beneath the skin flap should be excised. The anterior edge of the skin flap is now buried deep into the muscle in close relation with the deep vascular bundle and its related lymphatics. In this way, the bulk of limb is reduced and the tissue tension is restored by the overlapping procedure. The dermal lymphatic plexus is brought in proximally to the deep lymphatic trunks, which are usually normal in primary lymphedema. Next is Charles operation. In this operation, the whole of the edematous subcutaneous tissue and the deep fascia are excised. The exposed muscle layer is covered with split thickness skin graft. Hope you all remember the types of skin grafts. The main disadvantage is a tendency to hyperkeratosis in the grafted area, which occurs in about 1/3 of patients. The unstable skin frequently develops minor infections with local ulceration and a weeping eczema state, which is troublesome. And the next is Kinmoth modification of Homans procedure. In this operation, limb reduction is usually first done on the medial side and then on the lateral side. Next is the second one, that is physiologic operations. These operations aim to provide or enhance lymph drainage. Attempts have been made to create an artificial lymph channels through the subcutaneous tissue using non-absorbable thread. Second one, in the other type of physiological operation, attempt to link subcutaneous tissue with the deep lymphatics or to attach lymphatic bearing vesicles such as omentum or small bowel to the root of the affected limb. Third one, lymphovenous shunts have been used particularly in secondary lymphedema cases. Fourth one, microsurgery. In many sites, the dilated lymphatics are anastomosed veins by microsurgery. This has been more used in the edema of the arm. Treatment of secondary lymphedema. In contrast to primary lymphedema, secondary lymphedema hardly shows an improvement with conservative treatment. Surgery is the only treatment of choice. Surgical treatment. As the pathology of secondary lymphedema is blockage or destruction of lymph nodes or lymph trunks, surgical procedures are designed to provide a lymphatic bridge across the obstructed area or by deliberate creation of a lymphovenous shunt just proximal to the site of obstruction. The surgical treatment are: first one, bridging procedures; second one, pedicle flaps; third one, lymphovenous shunts; and the fourth one, excisional operations. Bridging procedures. This can be performed by lymphangioplasty, which was first introduced by Handley in 1908 by using various artificial channels. Some surgeons implanted double nylon strands. Some used polyethylene tubes perforated with lateral holes. These tubes were inserted from the angle level to the mid-abdominal wall. These were removed after 1 year, when it might be expected that permanent channels had been formed by their presence. However, these methods could not be successful to bring improvement in the edematous state. Pedicle flaps of skin and subcutaneous tissue may be used as a lymphatic bridge across the obstructive region. A thick pedicle from the arm may be transplanted into the thigh and abdominal wall to bypass the inguinal obstruction. Such method may be tried to bypass the axillary obstruction of post-mastectomy edema of the arm, but the results have not been much impressive, and it has failed to gain a definite place in the surgical management of secondary lymphedema. Lymphovenous shunts. In this operation, a healthy lymph node proximal to the obstruction region is isolated, taking great care to preserve its vascular pedicle and afferent lymphatics. The lymph node is transected through its middle. The cut surface of the distal half is then implanted into a neighboring vein. Example, the femoral vein in the groin. A linear venectomy is used with circumferential suture of the capsule of the lymph node to the edges of the venectomy. This way, the afferent lymph trunks joining the node will discharge their content directly to the venous system. This operation provides a sound basis in reducing the lymphedema. However, long-term report will be required for proper evaluation of this operation. Excisional operations. The excisional operations, which mentioned under surgical treatment of primary lymphedema, may be applicable to a limb with secondary lymphedema if the original disease is inactive. The excisional operations are Homans operation, Thompson operation, Charles operation, and Kinmoth's modification of Homans procedure. Thank you for listening. See you in the next class.